Hi guys, it's Nicole, and today I am going to share my third project that I created with the May Flavors of the Month kit from the Scraproom. So here you could see just a little sampling of the kit, and then this is from the add-on. I did not use the add-on with my layout today. I kind of wanted to just keep it strictly to the kit and kind of see what I could do with it. And then this one I am going to pair with the Freaky Fast Formula Friday. I can't remember what order it goes in, but basically, there is a challenge that goes up in the Facebook group where you have specific sizes of papers and you kind of start your layout from there. So here I'm going through and showing you the papers. This is the My Mind's Eye Wild Asparagus kit, which to my understanding is, I don't know if it's a complete reprint of their original Wild Asparagus line or if this is like a redo. I might have some of this in my Mind's Eye hoard. I loved a lot of their like 2008, 2009 era of like, it was collectible and Sophia Grace and or no, Stella and Rose, like that kind of era. So I don't remember if I have any of the wild asparagus because this isn't bringing back like memories of anything that I bought. So I'm wondering if it's more of like a revamp of an older line that they had. So here, this is what I do with the formula is I don't cut my pattern papers until I sort of have a plan. So I just cut scratch cardstock and I write the measurements on it. And not gonna lie, you guys, for whatever reason, I really struggled with the formula this month. And I think it was because I had an original idea that I kind of wanted to do with the papers, but the measurements just weren't gonna work out. And I didn't want to trim them down too far to where they aren't still kind of representing the formula at that point. So it took me a while to kind of come up with a game plan. And I've said that before regarding these kits. Once I get a plan, they go together super fast. Like I can get a layout done in 30, 40 minutes most of the time. It's more of trying to come up with what I want to do with it because I know that by representing the kit club, I'm staying within the supplies of the kit. Whereas if I was just pulling things from my stash and something didn't work out, I would just get up and go get something else or swap something else. But I really try to show like a realistic approach to these kits so that if you were subscribing to these kits with the intention of maybe packing them to take to a crop, can you realistically come up with layouts using only those supplies from the kits? And 100% hands down, yes, you can. Obviously, all of our styles are different. All of our sort of stash is going to be different. So that's where I find it super interesting, especially in like the Facebook group, is to see like what people pull from their stash to add to these to make them more their style or more their taste, or just either maybe they like a heavier amount of embellishments on their pages than say somebody like me. So to me, it's really fun to kind of see what somebody else does with the exact same supplies from a starting point and seeing where their end point is. So for my particular layout, I have some photos that I took of one of my stepsisters last fall for her maternity shoot. So I just picked like 3 of my favorite ones and I printed them. I want to say they're roughly 2.5 by 2.5 inches. And I die cut some Polaroid frames out of the second sheet of cardstock and stacked them up just to kind of make my own almost like DIY chipboard frames. And then pretty much all of the paper, the frames and everything, I am just taking some brown ink and just kind of doing a sloppy job of inking the edges. I personally like that with this style, especially from My Mind's Eye. The patterns themselves already kind of look a little, I don't want to say beat up, but they look distressed or they look kind of worn in. So those are the papers that I tend to want to ink the edges of, but I kind of didn't want like the clean line that you get when you just run like an ink pad across the end of it. So I just grabbed a blender brush and some brown ink and just kind of went to town on my cardstock base, the cardstock Polaroid frames that I had done, and then in the next clip, you'll see I'm going to do it to all of the pattern papers as well. And for me, that just kind of helps things all look like they belong together. Otherwise, if I only inked the frames or I only inked the background, then the papers to me kind of feel too clean and like out of place. So like here, they're not inked. But this is me trying to figure out a new game plan for those paper sizes and kind of trying to figure out which of the die cuts do I think that would go best with the photos that I am using. That's also kind of another fun challenge is you never know what die cuts you're going to get because basically they take like a full set of die cuts and they'll split it and you either get like half a pack or a third of a pack or sometimes, a fourth of a pack depending on how big it is. And you get like a different mix than a different subscriber would get. So to me, that's also fun. Like I will zoom in on people's layouts and be like, "Ooh, what kind of die cuts did they get?" Like, because mine were kind of interesting. I had a phrase that said like, "You're a peach." And then I had a die cut of a pear. And so I was like, okay, well, clearly I can't put those together because I'm kind of like a literal kind of person. Like it would just bother me if I had like a phrase that said something about a peach, but it was a picture of a pear. Like it would drive me nuts to no end. So for me, I tend to just go through all of the die cuts or stickers that come in my personal kit. And most of the time I'll pull out the ones that are pretty basic, things that I can use for layering, and then I'll try to pick out like the phrases that I feel like would work with either my style or I could use as like a title for my photos, because then I don't have to go and do like letter stickers or alphabet dies and make my own title. If I can, I will try to make whatever comes in the kit work for my title. Because to me, that's just one less thing that I kind of need to add to it. It's almost like another layer as far as like a self-issue challenge to myself as far as, can I make a complete layout in the sense of, do these embellishments give me the opportunity to use a title? And most of the time it does. I think I've had a few where I've pulled in maybe some additional alphabet stickers just to kind of make a longer title. But for the most part, I can typically figure out a way to get a title out of these kits, which to me, that's win-win. From there, I'm just kind of going ahead and trying to figure out where do I want to kind of put all these essentially random die cuts, but make them make sense. So, and that was kind of why I leaned towards these photos, because I remembered that the dress that she wore had a floral pattern that kind of reminded me of the floral die cut that came with my kit. The actual colors of her dress are more like purples and greens, but I don't tend to focus too much on like the colors in my photos. To me, yeah, this doesn't match perfectly, but it also doesn't clash. Like she's not wearing like Christmas colored sweater type thing. It's more of just the floral motif, the fact that these were taken outside, and so you've got some of the colors kind of coming in because we were out there in what they would call the golden hour, where it's like an hour before sunset, so you're getting a lot of that backlighting. And I think from there, like I even managed to use the little like number die cuts, but what I ended up doing was one of them I tucked behind the photo so you couldn't see that there was a number on it. The other one, I just did like a circle punch on one of the pattern papers and added it to be like another layer to cover up the number. If the numbers had made sense to maybe her age or how many months pregnant she was, which Thinking back on it now, the 8 would have worked out great because I'm pretty sure she was 8 months pregnant here, but too late. I wasn't thinking at the time. Here, I do like to share the formula breakdown just so you guys can see these were the measurements that I had and where they ended up being on the layout. With that, I'm going to let you guys go, and I appreciate you guys stopping by and spending time with me, and I will catch you guys in another video soon. Bye.